If you feel guilty many times and ashamed of your behavior or who you are, and sometimes you're thinking that that's one of the reasons why you will never get to achieve your dreams or fulfillment in life or have a happy life, this video is for you. My name is Aristotle Daskal and I help people fulfill their destiny. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about my story, how I have overcome this hatred towards myself and judging myself and criticizing myself and seeing myself as the worst person on the earth. I mean, not the worst, but definitely a bad person, definitely not deserving of any kind of success. It all started with my marriage. My wife and I are very different. Like, we come from very different backgrounds, from very different environments. And we had a rough marriage. That meaning that so much time I felt that she is not satisfied with who I am as a person. And for so many years, I realized that she felt the same thing. Although we loved each other so much, we've been fighting a lot throughout our years of marriage. Now we're going to be turning about 17 years of marriage, and we had many fights throughout the years. We had many conflicts. We love each other very much. But for a long time, I had the feeling that I don't even know if we're ever going to overcome this. And I remember that so many times I got to the point where I realized that if I have one desire for my life, it's for me to be a good husband and to be a good father for my children. And I really couldn't stand myself for the fact that I'm not able to have always peace in my family and to provide an environment where where my wife loves me completely and doesn't feel like criticizing me, and I'm not yelling at my kids, and I'm not controlling anymore. I couldn't even imagine that these things could change. And I remember very specifically a road trip that we've taken from Canada to the States. And in the middle of the road coming back towards Canada, I was driving and I broke down crying. And I was crying and sobbing. And I told my wife, I said, I just can't stand myself anymore. I just don't know how I can change. I don't like myself. I hate myself, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change. But I knew one thing: being criticized, it never worked. And hating myself for it never worked. So I was at my wit's end. I just didn't know exactly what to do. So I told her, you know what? Maybe you guys would be better off without me. I knew that my wife read beyond what I was saying, and she saw my heart and she knew that I love her. Obviously, I wouldn't be happy without them. Obviously, I wanted them in my life. I couldn't stand the thought of making my family suffer. And I wasn't this drunk or addict, or I wasn't this guy that didn't love his family. I was just angry a lot. And I was just screaming a lot. Does this sound familiar to you? Is there in your life something that simply makes you go nuts all the time and you don't even know maybe why? Well, I want to tell you what was it for me. I started doing therapy at a point, and I realized that, and I'm going to be talking more about the therapy in some future videos, but I realized that it was the overall feeling of lack, of not having what I want to have, of not being who I want to be, of not being fulfilled, of not spending throughout the day my time, my hours on what I loved. I didn't like my job. I didn't like the fact that my business was not taking off as I wanted to be. So all these things, they meant so much for me that I was unfulfilled all the time. And the only things that I really loved the most, my wife and my kids, I was lashing at them. And that made me feel so ashamed, so undeserving, so unworthy. I still feel that from time to time. But you know what? Therapy has helped me so much understand one thing more than anything else. It was that I am not what I do. I'm not the thoughts that I have. I'm not the actions that I take. I'm not the emotions that I feel sometimes. I am an infinite being, perfect by default, through the simple fact that I'm a manifestation of God and infinite intelligence. And what I do that is provoking pain to me or to others is because I've disconnected myself from what I truly am. The worthy person, able to do anything able to have a completely fulfilled life, a person that doesn't need anything from the outside. And because of my upbringing, because of the society's programming, that was completely not what I was experiencing. I was experiencing a complete lack. I felt like I do not have anything that I want. And that was the greatest shift this therapy has helped me realize, is that I do not need anything from anybody else. I don't need to achieve anything. I don't need to get anything. I need to look at my life exactly how it is and find the beauty in it as is. So here's what was happening, because I was feeling lack. When I was coming upstairs from my basement business office and I was coming upstairs to my family, I was lashing at them because I was upset and disappointed of the lack that I was seeing in my business and in my life. They were just a mirror. They were just for someone that I was projecting towards. You know the saying, hurt people hurt people. If someone is hurting others, it means that they hurt themselves. They are being hurt. They feel pain. And I was very much in pain. Fortunately, I understood the root of that pain, which was the fact that I thought that I need something. I need to achieve something. I need something from outside, which I didn't have. And that changed finally. After therapy, that slowly changed, and reading a lot of books. Now I realized there's nothing in it from outside. It's only what you need to unleash inside. It's me connecting to the true who I am and letting that live on the outside, and letting that myself, my real Aristotle, enjoy everything there is outside. So my family life has changed so much, so much. I remember another thing when I was snapping at my oldest child, which now is 12, and I was feeling so embarrassed. He was 9, then he was 8, he turned 9, and I was just, criticizing him for little things and always trying to be controlling, because I was controlling of myself. I was trying to teach him how to do things right so that he doesn't fail in the future, because I was feeling like I was failing. So it wasn't because I hated my wife or hated my child. I was treating them the way that I was treating myself. And I want you to know that that's fine. I want you to know that there's so much pain in you for feeling that about yourself, that the last thing you deserve and need is someone to criticize you for that. You need to understand that you're an amazing person, that you're hurting more than you have to. It doesn't matter, and you do not deserve criticism. You're not a bad person if you do something bad, if you're hurting somebody else. Because I know that if you do it, it's because you're hurting inside, you're in pain. You wouldn't do that if you wouldn't be in pain. You're not a bad person. Don't try to fix it on the outside when you haven't tried to fix it inside first. It ain't gonna work. You gotta love yourself. If you don't love yourself, any try of you showing your love towards somebody else, it's not gonna work. It's not a sacrifice when you don't take the time to heal yourself and take care of yourself and love yourself. Here's the thing. I started doing therapy because I thought that was gonna help me understand what's wrong with me and why am I not able to grow this new business that I was working on. Instead, what had happened is that Soreen, my therapist, helped me realize that I don't need anything from outside, and that I can just enjoy life as is. And when I did that without expectation of how my life should turn, and it was just a matter of me enjoying what is, then my relationship with my wife changed so much. My relationship with my children changed so much, because I started loving myself so much. I love myself the most. Oh my gosh, it's such a transformation. But in a world that even criticizes and makes fun of you loving yourself, can you imagine those people? How do they feel about themselves? Problem is that we put at the level of gurus and at the level of big teachers, people that tell you to criticize yourself, tell you that you're not good enough, tell you that you have to whip yourself. And that's not true. You have to love yourself. And love yourself first and foremost and the most. And then you're going to be able to overflow to everybody else. Because the world outside us is just a mirror and is just a hologram of who we truly are ourselves. It's just meant to help us look inside and resurface and bring to the surface and unfold who we truly are. Now, I'm not gonna say that I don't fight anymore. I still fight with my wife a lot compared to other couples. But man, we love her so much. We love each other so much. And she sees in me such a huge transformation. And I'm saying this because I don't want you to think that I'm better than you, because I'm not. And if you have believed that other people that seem successful are better than you, they are not. Most of us are posing. I'm not going to pose for you. How is that going to be helpful for you? But I can tell you this, that you will be able, in the middle of everything that happens, in the middle of everything you do, for you to put your hand on your heart and realize and say, what I do, it's not who I am. Who I am is this infinite being, that it's here to love. And when you realize that, everything is going to change on the outside as well, to mirror the new you. My relationship with my kids changed so much as well. Again, I still am controlling sometimes. I still am afraid sometimes, but I'm so open to them. And I explain to my son, and I'm saying, Seth, when I raise my voice at you, when I'm controlling at you, it's because I am afraid. I have a problem, not you. And he sees that. You know what? We don't have to be perfect parents. The best thing we can do is be truthful. If they see what's going on inside us, if they see the process of awakening in us, that's what they're going to copy. Be yourself as you are. It's interesting. I started therapy so that I can see what's wrong with me and why I'm having a difficulty building my business. And I ended up addressing the core problem at the root of it all. And I thought that, hey, I didn't have much results because my business didn't grow much. But remember when I told you that my greatest goal has always been to be a good daddy and to be a good husband? Well, I got there. I've become a great one. Yeah, I'm not perfect. And I'm saying a great one so you know that as long as you live from inside, from who you are, and as long as you love yourself and you're truthful to yourself and you live in love, you are a great dad. You are a great husband. It's who you are. It's in your nature. As long as you criticize yourself, you're blocking that. You're not bad even then, but you're blocking it. You're blocking who you truly are. I want to tell you that I love you. You're not what you do. You're this infinite being that is deserving of the greatest success. And the greatest success that you can have is love everything. See the beauty in everything. And step into what you were meant to do when you came on this earth. Step into that. I'm here by your side.